a good game.
It was okay.
Yeah.
And welcome to Overtime, brought to you by KingsCast at www.kingscast.net. Woohoo! I'm Keith Konalik.
And I'm Chris Kalaszewski.
And the Kings have taken the series. This is not a joke, not a blooper reel. Kings win. Bada frickin' bing.
Ooh, yeah, that's right, Kings fans. We are back after a humongous Game 5. Series-clinching Game 5 here to talk about that game tonight. Talk about everything. Talk about the Sedins. Quick, the next round we'll do, of course, a KingsCast. See ya to our good friends up in Vancouver.
So here we go, episode 155. Let's get into this.
All right, Kings fans, so I'd say that was a pretty good game tonight. Keith, what about you?
I'd say my nipples are a little hard, Kalaszewski. I'm loving it. And you know what? I know we said when the Sharks beat us twice in a row, I had Canucks in 5, Kalaszewski, Canucks in 6. We were wrong. We love being wrong. And you know what the crazy thing is, Chris? If at the beginning of the season, you had said to me, hey, Keith, you know, the Kings are going to win the first round of the playoffs. I'd be like, well, of course they are. Look at them. They got Mike Richards, yada, yada, yada. Then towards the end of the season, it was like, oh, God, they suck. And coming into tonight, you know, Kings, it was looking a little bit shaky, you know, in the first, a little bit in the second period. Then the Kings showed who they really are, dug deep, got it out. I got to say, Canucks fans, thanks for watching the show. It's been a pleasure. You know, as always, you guys got a great team, but it's nice to be on top for once in the many, many years that we've been doing this show.
Yeah, you take a look at that first period, and it was all Canucks. All Canucks, 100%. Kings still had that issue, you know, where that plagued them all season long, which was they couldn't score in the power play. Had two back-to-back, basically, in the opening minutes of the first, and just really couldn't get anything done. No quality scoring chances. Didn't look like the team that wanted to win the series in Vancouver. And you get a little nervous after that, you know. Canucks get on the board. It's 1-0. It goes into the second, and you don't know what to say. It's feeling sketch for sure.
It's definitely feeling sketch. You know, Heinrich Sedin, of course, getting you know, another goal. You know, thank God Daniel Sedin came back because they really look like they re-energized team. I liked, you know, earlier I think Patrick O'Neill was mentioning, you know, the putting together the second line of Kessler, Burrows, and LaPierre, and some of the people in the newspaper had called it the triple clown line.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, very well done. I wish we could have thought of that. But yeah, you know, going into the third period, and you know, Chris, throughout the game, you know, I noticed when Daryl Sutter rolls 4 lines, to me it's very evident, and I always end up sort of poo-pooing it and saying, you know, we need to go back to Kopitar and Richards, but who comes up with the big goal, the one to tie it? Brad Richardson with an assist from Drew Doughty. I gotta love that.
Yeah, well, especially since, you know, Brad Richardson has been sort of, you know, invisible most of the season. And same with Drew Doughty. I mean, talk about a guy who, you know, took that play. It was all him. He was so patient, going into the zone, waiting to that very last second. You know, Richardson was there to clean it up. And usually Richardson only scores against the Avalanche. But he came up with a huge game-tying goal, and you gotta love to see that because we're still not seeing a lot of the big guys contribute, you know, in that situation. It was a 5-on-5 goal, and things were looking good at that point because, you know, it really wasn't until like the mid-second where the Kings, you're starting to see the good Kings team. Yeah. You know, because it was looking like the Canucks were really trying to send us back to LA for Game 6.
You know, part of me, Chris, while watching the game, and I didn't say it out loud, I didn't even say it to you, who, you know, I say everything Kings to you, but in the back of my head, I was thinking to myself, that Cory Schneider is turning in a Conn Smythe-like performance, and I was really hoping it wouldn't be true. That's why I didn't say it out loud. You know, but what a fantastic young goaltender they have there. It looks like Roberto Luongo might be gone, but we'll leave that for Canucks Cast. I mean, you know, what a fantastic performance. You know, obviously none of the goals really his fault, but oh, man, it was really nice to see that, you know, secondary scoring step it up. That's what you have to do, you know, if you're going for a Stanley Cup, is you got to roll 4 lines. They got to contribute. Tonight they did, and, you know, we've been sort of talking about the defense and the anemic play there, but nice to see Drew Doughty get that. You know, Slava Voinov definitely looks a step back. Yep. You know, might want to bench him? I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? But then going to overtime, and, you know, we've kind of seen this before, but going to overtime, you know, I thought that the Kings controlled most of it, and I was not as panicky as I usually am. You know, didn't order panicky shots or anything like that. Just kind of stayed the course there. And who gets the game winner but Jarrett frickin' Stoll? Where has he been all season? He's been waiting for this.
Yeah, you know, we've been talking about Jarrett Stoll all season long, been a disappointment for the most part, but came through with the clutch goal, and we hope this is something that revitalizes him because, you know, obviously we talk about the Kings still have issues scoring. You know, Carter isn't on the scoreboard very much, you know, at all. Richards, you know, Kopitar, even though it's a different sort of situation, still we're counting on someone else to step up besides the usual guys. franchise, and it was so awesome to see Stoll get that goal and just silence the arena. And I almost prefer them to win it up there. You know what? And we talk about the series. The Kings won 3 on the road. And that bodes well for a team that, has absolutely no chance of having home ice advantage. And they're going to be going up and playing St. Louis. We'll talk about that here in a sec. But let's talk about the Conn Smythe winner of the series, Jonathan Quick.
Oh, without
Jonathan
a doubt.
Quick with the biggest play, I think, in the last 11 years for the Kings franchise, stopping Daniel Sedin on that breakaway, which I think would have put the game away at that point, just the way the game was going and the Kings were playing. But huge stop on a breakaway. The guy had an awesome chance to score, but Quick stepped it up, stayed patient with it, blocked him off. It was incredible, and that's the Jonathan Quick we had. That's what everyone in the league is jealous, because we got some and you don't.
Yeah, and Jonathan Quick, you take the 3 stars from the 4 games previous that we had played. Richards, game 1, first star. Brownie in 2 and 3, definitely the first star. But Jonathan Quick always hanging in there, even in our loss. I thought Jonathan Quick was probably the 3rd star of the game. But yeah, it's incredible, and such a wonderful thing as a Kings fan to have a goaltender you can depend on, where rather than expecting him to let in a goal, or a softy, a beach ball, you're expecting him to make the save, and sure enough, he does. He comes up, he's brilliant. He's brilliant, not just on that Sedin breakaway, but all game. You got to give it to Jonathan Quick. It's a fantastic feeling to have as a Kings fan. All right, Kings fans, we haven't done this one in a while since Jack Johnson, and it really tickles me. The first time in KingsCast history since we were doing the old podcast have we ever gotten to do a see ya for another NHL team. So here we go, Vancouver Canucks, see ya, Kalzewski.
Number 5, Vancouver. The only trophy it looks like you'll be winning is the President's Trophy, but hey, that's pretty cool. So we really got to say, see ya!
Canucks, that was such a cute little comeback. You got to see another game, and we got to close the series out on your home ice. So we got to say, see ya.
Number 3, Luongo. Hey, bro, you had a good run. Nothing like being replaced during the playoffs. I'm sure there'll be a mild bidding war for your services next year, so we really have to say, see ya.
Number 2, Green Men. So sorry that we aren't going to see your stupid little tired old antics for the rest of the playoffs, because you be out, so we got to say, see ya.
And lastly, number 1, the world outside of British Columbia. Yeah, you're welcome. So Vancouver Canucks players, fans, coaches, everyone in the organization, we really got to say for the very last time, one huge KingsCast, see ya! All right, Kings fans, so it was decided, I think a couple days ago after the Blues beat the San Jose Sharks, which was awesome. We don't really talk about that, but love to see those guys off. Karma, guys, for the Ryan Clough incident, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Sharks fans, I'm sure, will be rooting for the Kings at this point. But, we look into the next series, second round, huge matchup. It's going to be a defensive battle, a goaltending battle, another chippy team. We'll get into it in more detail later on, but, our question of the day is, how do you see this series going? Leave your comments, as always, downstairs.
All right, so Kings fans, if you're looking at predictions, of course, I just have to point this out. Alex Pietrangelo drafted 2 after Drew Doughty for the St. Louis Blues, having a Norris Trophy season. His projection, they were saying that he was the best defenseman. Anyway, I'm saying it. I'm going out there. I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I am saying Kings in 7.
I'm going to be very close to that. I'm going to say Kings in 6. I like the advantage there on the offense, and I think they're fired up, and really, I think the NHL wants the Kings to win, so I'm going to take that too.
Yeah, it's Hollywood. They absolutely want it to win. All right, so Kings fans, we will be right back at you probably, depending on a few things, after Game 1 against the St. Louis Blues in Round 2. Oh, it just tickles me that I get to see that, Kalzewski.
That's awesome.
Stay tuned for that. We love you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You know you want to. You know you have to. I'm Keith Kordelik.
And I'm Chris Kalzewski.
Thanks for watching Overtime by KingsCast.